everybody, guess who's sick for the 1 millionth time this year? Me, so you get the weird voice again. It's happening. So today we're talking about how to make practicing fun. A very, common topic from you guys' request is talk about practicing. Just about making your, practice routines a little bit more interesting and fun. So I have 5 different tips for you. I've included 5 licks. I'm going to go ahead and play the licks for you so you can hear them, so you can see if you even care about learning all this stuff. And other than that, make sure you get the tabs. They're down below. I have lesson packs for sale on my website if you want to support the channel and do all that stuff. But let's just go ahead and get to the licks and let's get rocking, less talking, because who wants to hear this voice? Solo. Alright, so tip number 1 is try to have melodic ideas. So here's the first example for you. God, my voice sounds so weird. We're going to be going like this. So it's a very simple idea, and the reason why is, this is still a very technique-driven exercise. You're getting plenty of technique practice, but it sounds like something. It sounds like a piece of music, and I can't stress that enough. I kind of wasn't a huge fan of the more boring ones. I still did them, like the the chromatic stuff. Still did all that stuff. Still, did put my time in with that. I'm not saying don't do that, but I really think that these were crucial because it motivated me. It was very fun all of a sudden. And I will continue to have this weird voice for the whole video. So, what's going on here exactly? So I'm playing, it's like a little pedal tone idea. I'm going 5 on the high string, and I go 8, 7, 8 on the high, and then 6 on the B, and then 8, 7, 8. So, I'm not worried about how fast I'm going right now. That's not the goal. I just want clean, melodic, sequences. There's a lot of A minor. I shift up. I'm going to use the same pattern, but I'm going to go 7, 10, 8, 10. And then with my middle finger, I'm going to go to 8 on the B, and then 10, 8, 10. Okay, shift up again. I'm going to go 8, 12, 10, 12, and then 10 on the B. And then I'm going to go to 12, 10, 12 again. So we have final one here. We're going to go 10, 13, 12, 13, and then 12 on the B, and 13, 12, 13. So tip number 2 is play or practice in a new area. Or maybe a new guitar. That's kind of a new area, new fingerboard to work with, new feel of the instrument. So I'm not gonna go to a different room or anything like that because I'm sure I'd drive my wife crazy. But I am gonna switch guitars, and I'm gonna give you guys a new lick that has been inspired by this guitar. So I'm gonna switch from this Acacia. I'm just gonna go to another Acacia. Here we go. A bunch of you guys have been asking, why haven't I been using this one? Been addicted to the other Acacia. So here's what we're gonna do. I have a new guitar. Now new ideas are coming to me because just new inspiration. It's a new area to work with. So sometimes I found just changing your surroundings or changing the instrument that you have can really liven up practice. You don't want to just get good at playing only one guitar. I was like that for a very long time, and I highly recommend getting well versed and just being able to grab a guitar and play it. So here's a lick that we're going to be doing, a total Dimebag Darrell inspired one from his walk solo. So what's happened here? So it's this A minor blues scale. hip hop and happening, and I'm just going 5 on the high E string, and I'm going to go 8 pull off 5 on the B. Use your pinky or ring finger, whatever you're feeling like. Then I go to the G and I go 8 pull off 7, pull off 5, and I hammer back on the 7 and I hammer back on the 5. So then I start over. And there you have it. It's a very kind of like aggressive sounding lick. I love hearing people when they So tip number 3 is when you're practicing, learning scales is not the most exciting thing in the world. And what I found that I've been, introducing to a lot of my students, if they haven't done it before, is, one, using backing tracks, which is really, really fun, but also just using a drone track, or just simply a droning note. It just gives you something to kind of work with, while you're trying to play the scale, versus just sitting here for hours going... which is not the most exciting thing in the world. I found this droning track just makes it so much more fun. It's more musical, which is, I think, is why it works so well. So I'm going to play over. I'm just going to simply play through my A minor pentatonic scale. I'll tab out the scale for you and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, this makes learning this stuff so much more fun and a lot less like practice and a lot more just like sitting there playing. Alright, so tip number 4. Shut the door, it's number 4. So what is this one? Well, this is learn other players' licks or try to play in their style. So you don't have to necessarily try to learn all the licks, because I was never a huge person of learning, other people's licks note for note, solo for solo, stuff like that. I always loved getting the idea and then trying to incorporate it into my own thing. So what is happening here? Well, Nuno has this really, really cool like muting technique that he does all the time, and he uses a lot of open strings. So like I said, I forget what I initially learned, that it was kind of like this, and I was like, oh, that's cool, and I just kind of got to where I liked that sound. Eddie does a lot of stuff like that too. There's all kinds of players who have that very percussive style of playing. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to be going open on the low E string, hammering on the 3rd and then 5th fret, and then I go to the A string and it's open, hammer on the 4, hammer on the 5. Now the trick here is the palm muting. It's all very muted. Not muted to where you can't hear the notes, but enough to get that real like... Then I move down and I'm going to go open D, hammer on 5, hammer on 7. Then I go to the G, open 6, hammer on 7. Then I go open 10, open 8, hammer on 10. And open 9, hammer on 10. And that's pretty much it. That's the lick, And what I'm doing is I'm trying to think what would Nuno kind of do, just to get the inspiration from him. And then maybe I'll take that lick somewhere completely different, that's just where it's kind of starting. So challenge yourself, think of a player and be like, what would they kind of do? I was like, oh yeah, I always love that kind of open sound that Nuno does with those mutes in there. So I was like, okay. I could end up coming with something that totally works, totally bombs, doesn't matter. We're just trying stuff. So. And of course, the 5th and final one here is I want you to set goals for yourself. Now this is where charting your practice or writing stuff down can be really, really helpful, because what we're doing is you're giving yourself a number to work with. So maybe speed is the goal. So we're going to start with speed because it's an easy one to do, because we can write down a number. So whatever your max speed is, just kind of have that, written down somewhere on this lick I'm going to show you. and then practice it, slowly increasing your speed, increment by increment, maybe like 5 beats per minute each day or something like that. And see where it is in like 2 weeks, and see if you're much better, because that's very motivating. It makes going back to practicing very fun, and it's very, very crucial. I've talked about, in other videos, tip number 5 is make sure you end on a good note. I definitely recommend that. Play something that's fun. But for now, we're going to go to this one, and here's the lick that we're going to be doing. Like I said, start off very slow with that one. Figure out whatever, you can play it comfortably over and over again with no mistakes, and write that number down as far as your BPM. So do this with a metronome. Alternate picking, starting on the down, and then, like I said, in 2 weeks, just slowly increase your speed throughout it. Make sure you're picking it very cleanly. Come back in 2 weeks and see where that number is. Maybe do 1 week, see what your number is then. It's very motivating, and I highly, highly recommend it. Alright, hey, thank you guys all so much for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Hope you got something out of it. And most of all, you had fun, right? Isn't that what this lesson was about? So make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will just see you guys on Wednesday with a new video. Maybe we'll do some riffing out. I don't know. So I'll see you guys later. Hopefully I'll have a better voice by then. Peace out, homies. Keep on rocking, and I will see you next time.